Hello guys, I'm Charan and my roll number is 19EC01030. Today I'll be explaining the 6 questions which will give us a basic idea on MATLAB programming. Here comes the first question. They're asking us to create a simple vector A with 10 elements. This syntax will give us a vector A with 10 elements. I'm highlighting here. And we can also add 3 to each element of vector A by simply writing B equal to A plus 3. And we can also create a 5 by 5 matrix by using semicolons to separate the rows. That means after writing each row we can add semicolon, which will give us a n by n matrix. And we can also find the transpose of matrix X by simply writing y is equal to X transpose. I have piloting here. And we can also multiply two matrices X and Y by simply writing C equal to X into Y, and we can also multiply the corresponding elements of two matrices by simply writing D equal to X dot into X. And we can extract a simple column vector X1 from X by using this command X equal to, highlighting here. And we can also extract a few rows and few columns and form a submatrix, as shown here. So again, we can also delete a row or a column from a matrix X. Let's run the code and see the outputs. So here we are getting a vector A which is containing of 10 elements, vector B which is transpose of A, vector X which is a 5 by 5 matrix, and vector Y which is a transpose of X. We are getting x1 which is a column vector extracted from X, and we are getting x2 which is a submatrix extracted from X, and we are getting X in which a third column is being deleted. So we are getting a 5 by 4 matrix. I'm moving to the next question. First, let's run the output and I'll explain you. So as soon as we run, we will be getting graphs. So in order to get the graphs, we use the command named plot, and when we use the command subplot, if we are plotting more than one graph, and we use the command stem as to plot the graph like this, and we use the command grid in order to form a grid like this. And here, as we see the fourth figure, I have plotted two different graphs, cos x and cos square x, and in order to differentiate, I have to name it blue line as cos x and red line as cos square x. In order to do it, I have used a command named label and command named legend. See, I'm highlighting here. I use legend equal to cos x x square, comma cos x square. So this concludes this, and going to the coming to the second part of the second question. Here asking us to create and save two variables AB and to a file named abfile.mat, abfile.txt, abfile.xls. What we'll be doing is simply we'll be creating two variables a comma b, and we will use commands like save abfile.mat a comma b, say abfile.txt a comma b, abfile.xls a comma b, whatever format we want. Suppose abfile.a comma b, if we save it, we can see the file here abfile.mat, and we can also see the variables being saved to it a comma b, and the same thing can be done for the other formats. So coming to the next one, they're asking us to create two variables and save them to the ASCII file. What we'll do is we'll just simply add minus ASCII at the end. And next one, they're asking us to create a structure and save them to the file named newstruct.mat. What we'll do is we'll just declare like s1.a equal to some value, s1.b equal to some value, s1.c equal to some string, and we will save and we will use the command like save newstruct.mat minus struct s1. This will save the structure to the file name newstruct.mat. And coming to the next one, they're asking us to save two variables to example.mat and append a third variable to the same file. So what we'll do is we'll just declare two variables, and we'll use the command like save example.mat comma a comma b, and we will add p equal to 10 to it. How we will append to it means we will use command like save example.mat comma p minus append. Let's check this. As soon as we open here example.mat, we can see three variables a, b, p. So this appends the variable p to the example.mat. And coming to the next one, they're asking us to perform read cell and write cell commands. What we'll do is we'll just create a cell x equal to 1 2 3 hello date time yesterday hours 2. So we'll write commands like a write cell x comma x dot csv, read cell write x dot csv. We can view those files like as soon as we click x dot csv, it will open the file. This is the output of the, as we can see that it is saved to the file named x dot csv. And the same thing can be done to the write matrix and read matrix commands. And next one, they're asking us to perform audio read function. What we'll do is we will use jet comma plus equal to audio read the file name. So as soon as we run it, we can play the file I have chosen here. So I think you can hear the sound. So coming to the third one, what we are doing is we are getting input from the user and we are finding the roots. We are finding the root by formula minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac. And going to the next one, they're asking us to plot a graph between y equal to x square plus 0.5x plus 2. So we have used the code as the same before. I'm using the command to plot x comma y. I'm running the code. This is the graph I'm getting. And going to the fourth question, they're asking us to perform some few MATLAB commands. Coming to the MATLAB commands, the first one is asking is repellum. What repellum does is it repeats the copies of the array elements. I'll just run the code and I'll show you the outputs that I got for the code I have written. So here's the outputs. Repellum repeats the copies of the array elements, like each element repeats the number of times we have specified. But what repmat does is the whole array gets repeated. Next I. What I does is it will give us the identity matrix of dimensions you specified. What zeros does is zeros gives us elements like matrix containing all zeros in the specified dimensions. Next ones create array of all ones in the specified dimensions. Next rand. What rand does is it will give us a matrix of containing elements and elements will be getting a randomized value. And next one is reshape. What reshape does is it will reshape the array, like vector will be vector into matrix or matrix into specified number of columns and multidimensional array into matrix. And the next one is cat. What cat does is it will concatenate arrays. Two different arrays can be concatenated. One is hodgecat. What it does is it will concatenate the arrays horizontally. Next wordcat. What it does is it will concatenate the arrays vertically. Next is diag. What it does is if we specify the diagonal elements, then it will give us a diagonal matrix containing the elements in the diagonal. Next one is block diagonal. If we have three different matrices, we can form a different matrix having matrices in the diagonal using block diagonal. Next flipper. What flipper does is it flips a matrix from left to right. If you give a matrix u equal to 789, then you will be getting something like here 987. So next one is flip up. What it will do is it flips a matrix up down. Next one is dot 90. What it will do is it will rotate the matrix counterclockwise by 90 degrees. Next cell. What it does is it extracts the lower triangular part. Next trio extracts the upper triangular part. Next permute the array dimensions. Next circular shift. Circ shift. What it does is it shifts the array circularly. Here's the code and I'll run it and I'll get the output. I'll show you for circular shift g equal to I'm getting like this. Next length. What it does is it gives us the length of the largest array dimension. If it's a 3x4 matrix, then we'll be getting the output as 4. Then size. What it does is it gives us the size. If it is 3x4 matrix or 4x4 matrix. If it is 4x4 matrix, it will be getting 4,4. 3x4 matrix will be getting 3,4. Next NDIMS. What it gives us number of array dimensions. Generally we use row and column, so we'll be getting 2. So next one is numeral. What it gives us is number of elements present in the array. If it is 4x4 matrix, then it is 16. Next one is isempty. Isempty is a logical operator. It tells us whether the matrix or array is empty or not. So going to the fifth one, coming to the loops, the different loops are there. First one is while loop. What it does is it will check the statement every time and check whether it is correct or not. If it is correct, then it enters the loop, otherwise not. So it runs the loop as many times as condition is true. Next one is for loop. What the difference between for loop and while loop is, in the for loop we will be mentioning how many times it have to run, but in while loop we doesn't. And nested loops. Nested loops nothing but a loop inside a loop, like for loop inside a for loop, while loop inside a while loop. Next one is continue. What continue does is, as soon as the continue command executes, it instead of continuing the remaining loop, it will just increments its I value and start from the first. Next break. What break does is, break is completely different from continue. What it does is it it exits out of the for loop. Next one is decision making. Coming to the decision, what it does is we have different decision making statements like if else, and nested if statements and switch. Coming to the if, what it does is it will check the statement, and if it is true, then it will execute the fprintf. That is, it enters inside. Otherwise, it doesn't. If else, what if else is, if the condition in the if loop is wrong, then else gets executed. Next one, nested if statements. What it means if inside a if. I think you understood. Next one is switch statements. What is switch is, suppose we are having x equal to input enter a character. If on switch statements here, suppose if we enter a character plus, then it performs this statement, performs addition. Suppose if we enter a character minus, then it performs subtraction. Suppose if we enter a character multiplication, it performs multiplication. Suppose if we enter a character backslash, then it performs division. This can be used in many ways. So next is switch statements. Next is switch statements means switch statement inside a switch statement. So this concludes the session. I think you got a basic idea on MATLAB. Thank you.